Diane, and this is How to Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel, and you are very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the video and the channel. I appreciate it a lot. And if you feel called to like and subscribe for me at any point, I would appreciate that a lot as well. So this is going to be the final installment of the trilogy about how to keep your spleen happy. So if you haven't seen the other two, I would recommend watching the other two because obviously they inform this one. So this one's going to be about like other stuff that you can do to keep your spleen happy, like apart from food, you know, and not worrying so much, like other steps that you can take, because there's a couple of other things that you can do. So obviously, just to recap a little bit, so in terms of spleen qi, this is obviously an idea that comes from Chinese medicine, where if there's like a lack of energy in the body, it's often attributed to the spleen, which is like a little organ here under your rib cage on the left hand side. So it's contained within the solar plexus chakra, and in Chinese medicine it's attributed to, like, if the spleen is not functioning properly, the digestive system is not functioning properly, so there's like lethargy, lack of motivation, lack of willpower, which is all stuff that's related to the solar plexus chakra. So you know, everything I've been talking about in these videos really comes from Chinese medicine. So along that same vein, you can go and see a Chinese herbalist, or you can look up some Chinese herbs online that are going to help you regulate your spleen qi. Just as a by-the-by, if you do have a spleen qi deficiency, it's also very likely that you're suffering from dampness in your body, because the two things just go hand in hand. So you can look up the idea of dampness in the body. It's another idea from Chinese medicine, but I'm going to make a separate video about that next, I think. So the things that I'm about to say will not only help your spleen qi, but they'll very likely help you remove dampness in the body as well, okay, because the two things are correlated. So you can look for Chinese herbs that remove dampness in the body, or that help with the spleen qi in the body. Like I said, you can actually go and see a Chinese herbalist and they'll help you out with this if you have a little bit of extra money, you know, and the time. It's very cool what they can do. I would say though, don't think it's like a magic potion, because that's what I thought. Like, I went to see a Chinese herbalist when I was like 20, a long time ago now. And at the time, you know, I was smoking like 30 cigarettes a day and like smoking a ton of reefer and drinking and like eating chocolate pizza and like just disgusting stuff. And then I went to see this herbalist and I was like, well, it's not working. Like, I've been taking this 3 times a day, like you said, and it's not working. Of course it's not going to work, right? If you're going to slam your body with like all the other toxins and things and like completely abuse it in that way, taking 3 cups of tea with herbs in it a day is not going to make that much difference, right? Because it's not a magic potion, because it's more about a lifestyle, you know, like helping your spleen, like regulating spleen qi and getting rid of dampness in the body. It's really about a lifestyle, like attacking it from all sides. But it really, the herbs really do help. Because you can also get tea is the other thing. If you don't want to actually go and see a Chinese herbalist, you can look up specific kinds of tea that are going to help drain dampness in the body and help with a spleen qi deficiency. Specifically, you might want to look up tea that removes dampness in the body, because that's what I take. I take it like 3 times a day, like it's medicine, and it is wonderful. Sorry, it's getting super light here. It's just gotten sunny, so it's coming in the window. But even if you go into like Amazon or something like that and you look up teas that drain dampness in the body, you'll find them, or teas that help your spleen, like spleen tea, something like that. It's going to help. It will give you recommendations. There will be herbs in your own country, like I know in the UK, like dandelion root is very good for draining herbs, but the thing is, it's very old in Chinese medicine. Like, they have these herbs that, you know, it's been finely tuned over like thousands of years, so they really know what they're talking about. Because I feel like we used to know like in Europe and the UK, but then we burnt all our witches, right? Which is the people that had all the knowledge, like the wise women that did all the herbology, and we like burnt them all. So now we don't know anything. So you can also look up herbs for your own area that are going to help to drain dampness, and you can drink different types of tea. But honestly, it's really the Chinese herbs that they're the ones you want to go for, in my opinion. So that's something you can do. I've also mentioned chakra work, and I'm just going to mention it here again. So there are 7 chakras in the body, and the spleen, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's right here under your left rib cage. So it's contained within the solar plexus chakra. So working on your solar plexus chakra is really going to help with your spleen, and to help remove dampness in the body, because it's all about that inner fire, right? So like the inner fire, you know, if you have a fire, it helps to remove dampness, right? So it's all correlated. If you want to know how to work on your solar plexus chakra, I have a ton of videos on it, tons of videos, you can go and check those out. But also working on your root chakra and your sacral chakra is going to help, because the spleen, if you are a worrier, like a natural person who worries a lot, that's something that just kills the spleen. So that's something that working on your root chakra and your sacral chakra is really going to help with. The other thing is, I'm going somewhere with this, okay, so bear with me. The chakras lead into something called the Meridian system, which I'm going to put a picture up of it here, which looks very intimidating, but I believe there's 12 meridians in the body, but they go, you know, they go all over the body, so it looks very intimidating. So the chakras feed into the meridians. So as well as doing chakra work to make sure the energy is clear, because that's what you're doing with chakra work, you're clearing any energy blockages in that area that's getting in the way of the spleen flow, right? So you can do the same thing with meridians, because each organ has a meridian in the body associated with it. So the spleen has its own meridian. The stomach has its own meridian. So in terms of a spleen chi deficiency and dampness in the body, those are the 2 meridians that would be worked on, right? So someone that's really going to help you with that is an acupuncturist. So if you feel like going and checking out an acupuncturist, I highly recommend it. It is very effective for removing dampness and for helping with your spleen chi. I've only been once due to like time constraints basically, but she was wonderful. Like, they're very knowledgeable. She was also talking about like other pulses in your wrists. I can't remember what she said, but it was super fun. If you've got a little bit of spare cash, I recommend going. It's super cool, and you have so much energy when you come out. It's amazing. So acupuncturists, you know, the people with the little needles, so what they do is they work on blockages in the meridians so that the chi, the energy in the body, can flow, because that's what you want, right? Because blockages in the chakras and blockages in the meridians is stopping energy from flowing in the body and causing health problems and causing lack of energy. So that's what an acupuncturist is going to help you with, because they use certain points to clear the meridians so the energy can flow properly. So if you go see an acupuncturist and say like, I think I have low spleen energy, like a spleen chi deficiency, or I have dampness in my body, they'll be able to tell you if you do, and then they'll know exactly what to do. So if you have time for that, it's great fun. She wasn't even expensive as well. I think she was about £40, which I thought was very reasonable. If you do not have the time and the spare scratch for that, there's also something that you can do called acupressure, which is something you can do at home. So I'm going to leave a video in the comments or somewhere below about a woman that's showing you how to do this, okay? So the spleen, I don't know if there's another spleen meridian, but there's one here on both legs. You have a spleen meridian that runs up both sides. So you can use acupressure points like this to clear out the spleen meridian. Excuse me. I find that interesting that I started coughing as I did that. Excuse me. And she shows you exactly how to do it. Interestingly, a spleen chi deficiency and having dampness in the body can also be associated with like carrying water weight, like carrying a bit of extra weight. So you could try, like if you've got a little bit of weight that you can't shift, it could be because you're carrying water weight from dampness in the body. So it might be worth giving it a go for that as well if you feel like checking that out. It's super easy, so I'll leave that below. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, sorry I had to stop and pause the video because I was coughing. I think doing that like triggered something. Interesting, because that's obviously the spleen is about dampness, right? So maybe it's clearing out some dampness. That's crazy. You can also do yoga, is very good. Yoga in general is good just for balancing your chi, because yoga is good for bringing like the mind, body and soul together, you know, balancing the chakras, getting you into a meditative state. If you don't practice yoga, I highly recommend it, and I'm going to leave like 2 videos down below with this woman, Sarah Beth Yoga. She's just wonderful. She's like, there's no bullshit, you know what I mean? She doesn't lecture you, she just gets in, does the routine and gets back out, and they're super easy. So even if you think you're very like unfit, or you know, you don't exercise much, or you know nothing about yoga, you'll be able to do those 2 beginner routines. They're just good for helping to balance the chi in general. Like yoga is great for that. And also stretching the body helps unblock all the meridians. Like depending on what stretches you do, it helps to unblock the meridians. Okay, so you could look up, if you wanted to, yoga for the spleen or yoga for dampness in the body, things like this. There's also something called qigong, which is, chi obviously refers to energy, so it's like energy movements to get the energy flowing in the body. You can look it up on YouTube, you could do some of it at home, you could obviously go to a class or something like that, but that's something else that's going to help, you know, get everything moving. And you can look up qigong for the spleen. So yeah, that's stuff, you know, that you can do in addition to the other stuff, because you know, it's more, like I said, I think I said this earlier, it's more like a lifestyle than one particular thing. It's like you have to kind of attack it from all sides. Because I think in the West, we're just very used to this idea, like I certainly was for a long time, like we're just very used to this idea of like, oh, you just take a pill and it goes away, right? Because we have like a, you know, I think because of antibiotics. But it doesn't really work like that, you know, like if you want to affect a change, really it's usually like baby steps that you add in day by day, and it's like you have to do it from all angles. Do you know what I mean? For it to really be effective. But I highly recommend tea. If you're going to start with something, the tea is something that's like really accessible and really easy for you to add in. And obviously, I don't know about you guys, but I'm obsessed with tea, so that fits my life perfectly. So that's the video. I hope you found it. Oh, I want to say one more thing. Anything that stops you worrying is really going to help with your spleen. This is something that I've mentioned before, but it's super important. Worrying just kills the spleen. So people who have dampness in the body and people who have a spleen chi deficiency tend to people that, I'm sorry I can't talk, I'm stuttering a lot today, tend to be people who worry a lot. So it's super unfair. Like if you're someone that worries, you're going to get all these extra things with your health on top of you worrying already. So anything that you can do to stop yourself from worrying is going to really help your spleen. Okay, so like meditation, journaling, deep breathing, going for walks, things like that. Working on your sacral chakra and your root chakra is really good for worrying and anxiety, as is your solar plexus. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. I am taking spiritual life coaching sessions and programs at the moment. I have a fancy new website where you can book packages. You don't even have to talk to anyone if you don't want to. The link will be in the description box, and it has like descriptions of the packages and things like that. And you can also book a tarot reading with me as well if you want to do that, because I do that too. So information for that will be below, but thank you very much for checking out the video. I appreciate it a lot, and as always, I wish you many blessings, love and light. Take care.